The following is a presentation of NoVA Hackers at ShmooCon Epilogue 2014, hosted by Mach37, brought to you by Compute Cycle.
It's all you. Wait a minute, I have to do my action shot.
Keep on doing action. I could do that. I could sit here all day watching.
Okay. All right, I guess I'll just go.
Yeah, you're ready.
All right, okay, good. All right, so my name's Grex. So today what I want to do is give a little talk about something, there's the whole hack kid thing, and then I didn't know what to call it, so my kind of temp name is Kid Hack, but I don't know, how many of you have children? Super, okay, so ages, like, who has children between? Okay, and then, I don't know, 10 to, like, 18 or whatever. So, yeah, so what about like under 5? Okay, so we have I have two awesome kids, obviously, from my perspective, but, so one of the things that I'm trying to do is get them interested in information security. And if not for, they may or may not choose information security as the field that they want to go into. However, the whole philosophy of this talk was, even at least introducing them to some of the basic security concepts at a young age, so that whatever field they go into, they are just more security minded, more security aware. And that's what I'm basically going to be talking about here. So I'd say for the past, I don't know, year and a half, I've just been taking notes and, oh, that's a good game, this is a good game. And so the purpose of this talk was to kind of introduce some of those games for the parents that want to use these games as entry points or to teach their kids about basic computer security, and also to maybe create some sort of a crowdsourced type thing, like some sort of platform that parents can all contribute to, and have it be more than just like in this particular talk, I'm really focusing on games, right? Like, are there other, like say you use these type of techniques and you learn that your kid is interested in InfoSec. So maybe there's, like another set of, like another category where it could be teaching, moderate information security type topics. So, but right now I'm just going to focus on some of the cool games that I found, and just with the card games and stuff like that I'm going to talk about, my kids like, boring, but anything that's on the iPad, it's like woot. So that's the secret, is make it available on the iPad. All right, so my name's Grex. This is me on Twitter, if you're not familiar with that. Over the years, I've been in security/industry for about 20 years. I'd say about 13, 14 of those years have been doing security stuff. I've done everything from basic web app testing to, creating, doing security engineering, so creating huge mounds of paper that theoretically prove that a system secure when it really isn't, and then that kind of led into the FISMA stuff, and that is awesomely not exciting. And then proposals, which are a pain in the butt. It's interesting though. It's good to do, like, if for those that are here that have never done or any prop work, it's something to do that I would recommend. Maybe like once a year. Because you end up working like 80-hour weeks, but you learn a lot. It's good experience. So I spent a number of years just doing paper security, as I talked about there, with the security engineering, the FISMA, and the prop work. And then I'd say about 2-3 years back, I finally found a job with a company that I work for that would allow me to do just a little bit of hands-on stuff. So I was focusing on doing, here I show FPGA trade studies, but really they were just trade studies of like different security products. And so that was fun. And then now I'd say for about the past year, I've been doing IT security training, which that was sort of something that got me started, in terms of teaching kids in InfoSec, how can I do that? So as most of you don't know, I just have to give a plug to my site so I get more visitors and stuff. But NoVAinfosec.com.
But your weekly wrap-up of where you're supposed to be didn't show epilogue on it for this
Well, that's because there weren't any tickets left.
Wanted you to buy an ad.
Buy an ad. It'll be there. So just an agenda of what I'm going to talk about, just a little bit of background, existing games, and sort of this Kid Hack project and what's next. The last part is kind of the boring part. So I don't really have too much material developed for that yet, but I know like Nubix and WebReacher, they've been working on the post Pwn Wiki. So, and they're using cool things like GitHub, and I haven't coded in years and I don't understand any of that, but I want to work with them and see if I can create something that's similar for parents to share different information security thing. And then also what's next, find out there's all these different games, but what are the games that aren't out there that we should build and maybe do like a Kickstarter and pay some developers overseas to create something, unless somebody here wants to do it, because I cannot code anymore. Okay, so background. So, I touched a little bit on this, but it's really about trying to prepare the next generation of information security professionals by trying to get them interested in, see if there's an interest in InfoSec early on. And kind of the secondary thing that I talked about too was just basically, or introducing kids to basic security concepts, so whatever career they choose to go into later, they'll at least be more aware security-wise. So as I said, I've looked at some recent, or I'd say for the past year, I've been doing more training type stuff. So training people in security operations centers, so that's pretty exciting. But one of the things I've been doing is, in terms of putting together plans of how you're going to teach people, is what are the best ways to teach folks. And so like if you go to Wikipedia and you look for different teaching techniques, there's lecture, the Socratic method where I call folks out. There's active and then rote, and I don't even know what all those are, but they're interesting techniques. But one of them, and I think gaming sort of fits into one of those categories, but it's really focused on simulation with gaming. Like one of the things I'm going to talk about is, for years and years and years, we've had capture the flag. So that's kind of simulation, but you're basically just setting up like a real live network and having people attack that. Now that's not something that my 8-year-old could hey dude, here's Nmap, scan it, go for it. So that's not something he's going to be able to do. But if you give them sort of a true simulation game where they don't have to know how to run Nmap, they have to know, oh, here's this app that I pick that does a scan, and so. And then instead of giving you back IP addresses, it'll give you back, oh, these are the systems that you found, or whatever. So it's just very not focusing on the details of information security hacking tech or defensive techniques, but really just trying to abstract a lot of that out so that they just learn the concepts. And so that's what I'm going to talk about next. Okay, so inspiration so capture the flags. Those have been going on for years and years and years. but like I said, the disadvantage of those is, you can't take your 5-year-old to 12-year-old, and now some, there's definitely some kids out there that could do it, probably like Mubix's kids, but so they've been out there 4 years, but it's really hard for somebody to just come in out of the blue and, hey, here's this network, attack it. It's like, really? So one of the inspirations that I had was this past year when I started putting it together was Bruce Potter gave a talk at DerbyCon, which was It's Only a Game, Learning Security Through Gaming. So he went through, and the talk was basically a history of Capture the Flags, as well as other games that more hardcore security professionals play. And he also talked about games that can be used to engage non-security types, which is really what I'm focused on in terms of trying to teach kids about security. Unfortunately, he didn't discuss too many games. It was more about, hey, theoretically, this is how these are games that you could use, or we could use games to teach security awareness, and it would be a lot more fun. But he didn't discuss too many specific games, so there wasn't I couldn't watch that talk and walk away with it and be like, oh, here's 5 games I can give to my kid. But it was a good talk, and it was an inspiration for trying to pull some of this together. Also, Mrs. Y is Y. I don't think she's here, but she's been writing some great articles lately, and she's talking about Capture the Flag, specifically, simulation of real-world security operations. And then the final inspiration was, I'm not a big reader, especially when it comes to science. I'll read tech books, but it's not I just read books for pleasure. But I did what Audible, it's plug for them, right? I get my associates or kickback, right? I have to give you my code. But I downloaded Ender's Game, and it was really cool in terms of they were taking these young kids and they weren't actually training them war. They weren't putting them in a war type situation, but all the training was in a simulation environment. And I don't want to talk too much about that because for people that haven't read the book or seen the movie, don't want to spoil it. But there was a really just basic military tactics, and it was really focused on simulation and drills. And so that's another contributing factor that led to games, by forcing my kid to play on the iPad for an hour a day, I can make him a smarter security person, but I don't have to do that. If I would give him an iPad, he would literally stare at it all day. So all right, so this is just a survey of some of the games that I found. Some of them have cool videos, which should make great lunchtime viewing entertainment. All right, so the first one was this game called, and for those of you that follow the blog, I've sort of talked about these there too. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called Hacker, and it was, so in 1990, it was Steve Jackson Games, which I'm not a card or there are really people that are into gaming and in terms of the old school board type games, card games. But this Steve Jackson Games, he's legendary. They've been doing games since the 1970s, and they do a lot of games based on just various topics. So, but in 1990, the Secret Service raided him for whatever reason, and they because it was the 1990 and he was it was the whole cyberpunk thing, and he ran the Illuminati BBS. I never had a chance to use that, but is anyone familiar with that? Anyone? Okay. What is it? Just a BBS then?
It had a bunch of hacker games on it.
Bunch of hacker games?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why so probably pirated hacker games.
Yeah.
So that's why they took it. Yeah. So in 1992, he decided, or that gaming company decided to make a game of it. So just doing, involved Secret Service, hackers, phone companies, and just sort of making fun or making light of the whole situation. In 1993, he released Hacker 2, which was an addendum, like you couldn't play Hacker 2 all by itself. You had to have Hacker 1, and then Hacker 2 added the ability to have more players and also new rules. And then finally in 2001, they released a deluxe edition, which basically combined the two sets, and you could buy it. So the objective is, we're all hackers, and each of the players were hackers, and we compete against each other to control the most systems. So you lay cards out, and you put a token, and then you try to take over the entire network. So pretty cool. So here's the description for it. It's you create a network, and then players place tokens to indicate what systems they have invaded and how completely they control them. So 3 to 6 players, takes about 2.5 hours to play, and then just some listings of the rule book, like what you get there, just as a reference. So Hacker 2, we talked about this. This was a supplement to Hacker. New rules, so you introduce stuff, more security type stuff like viruses, worms, out dials. You can have multiple accounts, black ice, and military security hardware. So you get additional consoles and tokens so that you can add up to 2 players. So instead of 6 players, you're up to like 8. So it should be a fun game. And then the deluxe edition, which I just sort of copy and pasted some of the text there, but that's basically the combination of the original Hacker game and the Hacker 2 game. Availability, so it's out of print, unfortunately. First of all, does anyone in this audience have this game? Oh my God. Okay, next meeting, we have to meet. What are your thoughts on it, sir?
It's a great game. I actually have the first and second edition.
Okay.
It's fun. Almost everyone in this group should actually know about it.
Okay.
Because that raid and the fallout of it is why the EFF exists.
Yeah.
The fundraising for that.
Oh, okay.
Secret Service bust.
Cool. So
it's kind of goofy. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's for nerds.
Okay. So for those that are on the stream, it's a fun game. It's kind of goofy. It's for nerds. So, and we have one person in the audience that actually has it. 2. Oh, another one. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna head up to unallocated space. We're going up there, man. I unfortunately, it was really hard to get this game, so I couldn't introduce it to the kiddos. So I didn't really have a thought on that. So the next one is interesting. So it's called Doxed. Who's heard of this? Right, so we have about 3-4 hands there. So it's a board game. It was inspired by the 2010 game Forbidden Island. Who's played Forbidden Island? Okay, those same 2 people. All right. All right, so it introduces basic attack and defend mechanisms and other basic computer security constructs. So what they were really focusing on here is teaching non-techies computer security. So here's the whole, blob that I kind of put here that you can reference. But it's, if you just look at some of the highlighted versions there. So it's you and 3 players. You take on the role of the elite hacker syndicate, and you infiltrate a network to reclaim valuable digital assets that have been stolen from them. But you have the network admins are working against you to patch the systems and defend their system. And
Dun, dun, dun.
yes, and you all win together, or you lose together. Brave the network and protect your data. All right, so I'm gonna try to, so there's like a minute video. Oh, it's not gonna work. No, it doesn't work. No, that's, no. That is, because I couldn't get it embedded in PowerPoint, so I literally took a picture of and then I linked to it, so I was kind of cheating there. So where's that? Is it this one? All right.
How much time do you take trying to get that to work?
There was like a whole like plug-in that you had to do and stuff, and I basically said screw it.
Can you move it down?
Wait a minute. All right, should I go full? Do you want me to go full string with this, or?
Just move it down.
You need to
What do you mean move it?
slide the window down. Move it down to the bottom of
Like that?
Robert,
What?
they're only getting the bottom part of your
Minimize it
screen.
and then drop it there.
What do you mean you do?
your No, minimize the Chrome.
So,
The
yeah.
browser window.
Oh, the browser window. All right.
You have a title bar? Change the color.
So is that good, Brett?
Yeah, it's good enough for them.
It's good enough for them. All right. So
Where's Clippy?
can anybody hear it? Wait for it.
Crickets.
No, it's full blown.
We can read it. Really?
They have such cool music, though. Show us a cat video. Oh, there's some good videos coming up.
I wish it was that easy.
All right. Awesome. All right. So as you can tell, but it's let's do some twerking. All right.
What have you been looking at?
This isn't my computer, okay? All right. So as you can tell, I mean, kind of cheesy, but for, you know, a younger audience, this could be, you know, like a fun, or a younger audience, or like with my wife who knows nothing about computers.
Define younger.
Oh, I'd say like 5 to 12 or something. So, but
The spelling, yeah, that's about right.
but or my wife. So. Or my mom. She's probably not watching this, hopefully. No, but even for adults, this is like, we look at it and we laugh and it's cheesy, but you know, just learning some of the basic concepts of what things are. So, but there are some more cheesy games coming. So, all right. Okay, the cool thing about this is it is open source and freely available. You just go to that link there on GitHub and you download and print it. So there's also a $25 box set from the Game Crafter if you want to do that. So that's a cool game to go check out. You can it's open source. You can contribute to it, make it better, make it worse, whatever. Okay, so the next game. So who's heard of this game? Control-Alt-Hack. Wow, only like everybody in the room should be raising their hand. So This is a card game. It was announced at DEF CON 2012 by, a lot of you may recognize Adam Shostak, also Tamara Denning, and I'm not even going to pronounce that name.
Yoshi.
Tadoshi. Okay.
Just Yoshi. He goes by Yoshi.
Yoshi? All right, that's easy. So this isn't. So this is, you know, fairly recent. You know, it was 2012, and they've done a very nice professional job with it. So the objective, and this is like the previous game that I talked about, this is really focused on teaching non-techies some basic computer security topics. Okay, so here's the whole spiel if you want to read that, but you know, it's a tabletop game about white hat hacking. You're a part of this team and you do security audits and provide consultation services, sort of like Mubix. Let's see, so you get missions and you use tricks like social engineering and network ninja skills, so to you know, go through and to break into stuff. So sounds like a pretty cool game, right? I'm not going to play this video because it's like an hour long, but if you want to go to it, this is the Black Hack talk that they did with it. Availability, it's on Amazon, so you can go there. It's like, I don't know, 35 bucks. So good game for the holidays, for next year or for birthdays or whatever. Has anyone ever played this? Thoughts on it? Yes. With this, it's really long.
You get 4 players playing it. Like, it's a good 2-hour investment, 2.5 hour investment.
Okay, so 2.5 hours. Was it cheesy or kind of pretty good?
It was cool.
It was cool.
My family has no idea what I do, and so after playing this, they kind of have a little bit of idea.
Okay.
Now they can make fun of me a lot more.
Okay. So just to summarize for those that are on the stream, he's played it. Now his family knows that he's really a geek. All right, no, his family enjoyed it, and they gave him a basic introduction, and you know, so they you know, just proved its point, or met its goal of trying to teach non-security professionals about security. Okay, no, we're not going to talk about that one. So the next one is Phone Combat Hacking. So this is a video game or whatever. It was released last year in about March, designed by 82 apps. The objective is to take over all your competitor nodes. So you basically have this kind of like three-dimensional tic-tac-toe thing, and there's 2 players, and you start with 1 node each, and then you kind of take over adjacent nodes, and then you at some point you start. It's kind of like chess, and you're trying to take over the nodes that the other guy has, and then there's a lot of offensive and defensive techniques that are used, like you can launch a virus, or you can harden by doing a firewall or using encryption. They have let's see, viruses, they have Trojans, so I'm going to talk about some of those things. Okay, and then just a little bit of history. So like I literally sat down, like I saw Dan Kaminsky tweet this, and so I was like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna check it out. So I'm playing it. I spent like 2 hours trying to the computer beat me every time. I mean, it wasn't even close. And my kid's like, you know, give that. And he won. I'm like, no way. So now he always, you know, he beats me. Sorry. I just don't have that mindset. So here, it's, you know, some of the things that I talked about. So you have this like tic-tac-toe board, can be 3-dimensional, and Trojans, backdoors, encrypted nodes, firewalls. You know, it's pretty cool. It's player versus player. They have, you can actually set it up so that if you're on the same LAN, or you can do it over the internet where you can play each other. So it's fun that way. Like I travel a lot, and so my kid will kick my butt when I'm sitting in the hotel. All right, so here's I think this has some better music in it. Or should I just click this? It's not working, man, come on. cat video. Oh. Viruses there. Yeah. So as you can see, like the goal on that last screen is to basically capture all the nodes from your enemy. Whereas here we have to do a cat video. Let's see.
Is there a green lose button?
No. What?
No.
Oh, here's. Just move on. I can't. No one wants to see that. But it's so tempting. Like I want to click it. So there's a video. So availability. So it's cool because $2 or $3 on iOS. So it works. It works on the iPad as well as the iPhone and probably the iPad Mini. And there's a Mac version. And kid review is basically 2 thumbs up. Like my kid loves this game. Like
Is that your kid?
No, it isn't. Sorry. My kid, he isn't as cute. No, I'm just kidding. No.
That better be edited out.
This is a model kid that I hired. And no.
Would you like cookies?
Yeah. So like a year later, like he to this day still kicks my butt at this game, and he's like, I don't know, he's 8. All right, so Uplink, who's played that? Yeah. All right, so I had, in 2001 when they released it on Windows and Linux, I don't know, I was probably like working in some place that I can't talk about here, and it's a pretty cool game. So it was written in 2001 to emulate sort of like, oh, this is what it's going to be like hacking in 2010, right? So it's just like it. So so in 2006 it was released on Valve Steam, and it's also in the Ubuntu software. And then a year and a half ago or whatever, that's when I got introduced to it. So they have an iPad and an Android version. So the objective, 2 parts to it is, you basically, you're part of this elite hacker syndicate, and you go to a BBS system and you get missions and you go out and hack things and do things like change grades and stuff like that. And you get paid for it, or you like delete files, just kind of common stuff that we do every day, right? But then, and I haven't spent that much time with it yet, or I haven't spent enough time with it. But there's a whole storyline at some point where you get this email from a deceased Uplink agent, and it, so there's a lot of stuff going on. It says, where is it? So here's the little spiel for it. So you basically do jobs for major corporations. You hack into rival computers and do things like laundering money, erase evidence, framing innocent people. At some point, that's all cool stuff. So my kid loves this game. I wonder why. But let's see. So here's a cheesy video. So he just pulls out his iPad and hacks it, right? Oh. So oh wait. There. That's how we. Bam! You cracked it.
That's gonna be flag.
Account number 2587464. Your balance is £1,125.12. Please select from the following
Yeah. Let's see. That looks pretty exciting. I don't know. All right, so availability, you can get it on Windows, Linux, $15 just to download it. iPad, it's $5, Macs, $10. I have links there for it. Supposedly it's coming for the Android. I don't know why, but it is. Kid review, the kid loves it, obviously, because it's on the iPad. Let's see. So other games, these are just things. So did anybody play this like Nameless? Did anybody? I saw somebody tweet that. It's like the worst game ever. So don't. Oh, I better not. I wouldn't give it a high review. Let's put it that way. And there's some cool, like from a training perspective, I'm interested in what games I can use to teach folks stuff. So online, I don't know if anyone's heard of Vim Adventures. So that's a game that teaches you how to use VI. And then Regex Golf that was on there I don't know, that was like 2 weeks ago that I saw all that. And then there's all your standard ones, your capture the flag and web-based things. And then this is a site that had a bunch of cyber safety games. So you might want to check. What?
No network?
Where's NetHack? Where's Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah!
You do them 3D. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
Yeah.
He's missing Neuromancer too.
Okay. Oh yeah. I actually saw that, but it didn't seem to be like hacking though. I don't know. Anyway, so platform. So from the Kid project, and I talked about this a little bit up front, but I want to do like one of those .io sites and have it be connected to GitHub like Rob and team did. So I'm looking for, I'll probably be talking to WebReacher and Rob and see how they did that. And then also, looking at other game categories. I mean, if you can tell here, it's all focused on offense hacking, right? But wouldn't it be cool? And some of the games do. You have like the Pwn has a defensive aspect to it. But are there other, what would be really cool is, people that work in a security operations center, if there was like a defensive game that they could play, because Whack-a-mole, yeah. Whack-a-mole is the defensive game. Okay, that is awesome. Let's add that to the wiki. Yeah, become red team. Okay, so, and then, but really it's about, are there other, I definitely want to go out beyond from the normal gaming type things too, but have it be focused on kids where, so you have kids that are just starting out, kids that are, medium and kids that are like later teenage years. And then maybe find out what those areas are that where there are gaps, and then maybe do some sort of crowdfunding to create like iPad games or whatever that teach that concept. So just that's basically it. If anyone has any suggestions on games, you can come see me after so I can take a look at them and add them to the list. And that's basically it. This is how to reach me. Y'all pretty much know how to contact me if you're on the NoVA hackers list, so you don't have to go through the contact form. But that's basically it. Any questions? Click. Okay, thank you.
This has been a presentation of NoVA Hackers at ShmooCon Epilogue 2014, hosted by Mach37, brought to you by Compute Cycle. Video recording and streaming services provided by Cranial Thunder Productions.